So he more or less considers this training. He goes about by pretty much whooping everyone's butt, and even then towards the end, it kind of sucked not seeing Super Saiyan Goku in his entirety as a kid, but of course we are going to be getting that relatively soon. But either way, even then, it just kind of sucked seeing how the fights were really rushed. Even though he does consider this to be training, he only goes Super Saiyan for a split second just to blow everybody away as they're trying to use their spears, as they're using weapons. As I will say though, the fight choreography was amazing, so that's definitely something that wasn't a takeaway for this episode. But it's like at this point, even with Goku handing Shin on over his power pole, he was whooping everybody without even trying. So that should go as far as to tell you a lot about Goku's strength. If Gohan was there, if Piccolo was there, if Gotenks was there, if Vegeta, they would have done the same thing, I think. And so hopefully enough we get to see an escalation in terms of power by seeing more individuals kind of maybe outside of the Tamagamis pose more of a threat to Goku and company. And I kind of have this feeling that Glorio, like I mentioned before, might be that guy, because you can even go as far as to see it within the episode. At the moment Goku went Super Saiyan, Glorio kind of looked at him like, okay, I really gotta keep my eye out for this guy, even though Goku essentially went as far as to take down like literally everybody that was there that opposed them. And what's even worse was that he did it with a smile. So of course Glorio is observing all of this, and again, I think that there's something very fishy with him, and that's because you can simply see it on his face, you can see it upon his reactions. Maybe I'm looking a little bit too far into it, but I really don't think that I am. But what's funny about this, it was only a little after Goku had went as far as to foderize everybody, where the king had went as far as to give them a shit, he gave them resources and food, and I guess it's all for the sole purpose of trying to stop Goma and company, which was something that he didn't really believe that Goku had the power to do until having to whoop all of his men. But the king did go as far as to fetch one of his other minions that goes by the name of Hibis, and he told him to go and fetch Goku's friends to bring them out from the outer world here. So that only goes as far as to tell me that they're finally going to go as far as to bring our other characters in this demon realm, because I think they're desperately needed. So of course I think that with the inclusion of Piccolo and Vegeta coming to the demon realm, do I only think it's going to be very interesting. And even the fact that this little Hibis minion character had like this radar that was able to spot the lookout in a really cool way, because with the way he was able to see everything, with the way he was able to navigate through it, it looks really good. But again, I really do hope that the overall pacing begins to pick up, because I understand that they're trying to build upon the world and even build upon the lore. So of course next week we are going to see a brief contest involving Glorio and Goku, which I think by the end of it might be a very interesting confrontation. So the episode itself I think was good. Again, the pacing is a little problematic only because I think that it's a little too slow, but I can understand to an extent as to what they're trying to do. Again, I think not the best episode per se, but the episode itself did go as far as to give us at least some information as to what is to be expected moving forward, so I think inevitably that is a good thing. But even now, by the end of all of this, I want to go on ahead and get your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below about how you guys felt about Dragon Ball Daima episode 5, because not for nothing, thus far a little bit of a slow start from the beginning of Dragon Ball Daima all the way up until now. But again, the visuals, the sound design, everything about Daima visually looks great. Sound wise it sounds great, but the overall narrative is dragging along, and I can see as to why.
So overall, on Demon, they done just built up the whole Demon universe. The first 5 episodes. Shout out to the reviews, because you see, we ain't actually got the content on here. We got full reviews. You see what I'm saying? So hey, he's over here laying down the story, and I'm just giving my little opinions about it. That's what review channels do. We ain't even got to use their content. We can just sit here and talk about it like we supposed to, right? Right. Shouts out to actually doing reviews and sometimes using videos that other people make. But you know how we do. Spider Pig, Super Saturdays.
A lot of people do have mixed opinions about Daima, because although we are waiting to see the Tamagami be involved, although we are waiting to see if Degusu is going to be more or less involved by having to fight against our heroes, and hell, even to go as far as to see Gohan be shown, because we haven't seen what he's been up to this entire time, on top of the fact of having the others join the fray. So I can understand a lot of frustrations behind why people don't like this, but at the same time, many other people do seem to enjoy this, because it does remind them of OG Dragon Ball, and even to an extent, including myself, this goes as far as to remind a lot of people of like the very beginnings of what Dragon Ball GT was like. But even now, by the end of all of this, I want to go on ahead and get your thoughts and opinions, and not only just about Dragon Ball Daima episode 5, but mainly about Daima as a whole now, since it has been 5 weeks after Dragon Ball Daima was essentially having to be introduced with its debut.